Oh, hold on. Start over. Everyone's screaming right now. We can't hear you. Now you can.
Okay, all right. Fair enough. Welcome, friends, to Strangers in the Night, your source for late night VR gaming talk. I, of course, am your host, Wes. With me, as always, are my good friends, Eric.
What's going on, fellas?
What's going on, Eric? And my good friend, Roots. Roots, it is a night of tweaking settings, isn't it, sir?
Yeah, it's tweaking everything. Everything's weird. You know what's weird is remember a while ago when desktop audio stopped working? It's now working. Now the audio output isn't working. The second one I've created. A lot of settings, a lot of changes, a lot of good changes, a lot of weird changes. But I think we're set. I hope.
I'm going through changes. Hey guys, yeah, it's just a reminder of just how the price you pay for being a PC gamer. It isn't all just dollars and cents, is it? It's a whole lot of time every now and then.
Yeah. I spent my friend Josh spent 4 hours building my computer today, and I'm very happy with it. I haven't even started my old one back up, and just after you got that one set, I've just been focusing on this one. I got to get this one going for streaming, and then we'll be good. So
But you did it. You did a full on new build with a new case and everything, right?
yeah. My biggest thing is this is the thing that man he comes over and he helps me, and I know he spends hours, and it was going to take too long to tear apart and then try to reuse my case, and so it was easier just to get a new case, new power supply, and do it this way, kind of like what Mash is going to do, and then that way I benefit, he benefits. I think it took like 2 hours less than it would have probably. So but man, this thing is,
What?
I'm not even overclocked, and it's already smoking. It's crazy.
Eric, what's the over under on how long before Roots gets a new graphics card?
It's coming. And he doesn't really need it though now. I mean, he's pretty much has the perfect setup because he can stream off of one computer with no graphic card. You don't need a graphic card to stream off that computer. You just need the graphic card to run your, run your stuff, run your gaming computer. So,
Wes knows me.
but are you
I'm
saying
already
that you
thinking
saying
about
whether
it.
he's gonna upgrade though? He's gonna get a graphics for the other computer.
I just
Upgrade
know
it.
how this. I know how these things go. It's called fever, and once you start shopping for parts, man, it's hard to stop. It
Yeah.
is really hard to
Well, I'll
stop.
tell you what's going to stop me is the lack of fundage. I could barely afford what I did here, so I'll be tight for a little bit. It'll be worth it though. Like I justified it because it's for the show. And then Troy Gillis again. I'm going to thank you, Troy. He pushed me over the edge. His $150 donation. It kind of forced me to do it. I'm like, well, dude, this guy's giving me money to do it. Now I got to get my upgrade. So I appreciate it.
What are you gonna do, man?
Yeah.
You
But I
guys
think you're right. I
don't.
think 3080 is coming for him, right?
Yeah.
They're going to be
Yeah,
affordable
for
now.
sure.
$700. He's going to go get one. $750 for 3080.
Well, this is what my thought process was before I decided I needed to get this, because I figured I realized it. If I sold my other card, it's only like $450, $500. I mean, not probably 400, right? So I mean, you can justify it
There
from
you go.
that standpoint. So
There you go. That's kind of the approach I took with it. Even though I did have to go without a graphics card for a couple of weeks, which was not fun. But we got back into PlayStation VR. It was a good time. So
yeah, absolutely.
Isn't it amazing now the 2080 Super that we have, Roots, is only worth $400 now, and 6 months ago it would have been worth 1,000.
Yeah, that's crazy,
Easy,
right? Yeah, because
easy 1,000. Right?
Mash was already the other day. He was talking about it like it was worth, and I said, "No, dude, you can get a 3080 for 850 now." Oh yeah, that's right. It says it's only worth like 400, and Mash is like, "I'm not selling it for 400." And he said, "This is the thing. Keep it now. And then what I told him is, you got your streaming computer, and your daughter can use it to play on. So I mean, it's a win-win."
yeah, and
Yeah.
those times will come again. There's a reason why 3000 series cards have returned to launch pricing now. It's because 4000 series cards are coming later this year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure whenever those come out and people realize they're not going to be able to get those as easily as they thought, all of a sudden all the prices are going to jack right back up again. But right now is a good time. It's a good time to get in.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
absolutely. Dark Angel says, "Who doesn't like fundage?" Thank you. She's on 650. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dark
Hell yeah.
Angel. You are awesome. Anyway, Eric, these people keep mentioning in the chat that maybe there's going to be a Cambria reveal tomorrow. What's that all about?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're gonna. I don't know if we'll hear everything, but we're definitely gonna hear something. I mean, Zuckerberg basically said today that news is coming tomorrow. Like, nothing scheduled either. Weird. Like,
Hmm.
just like I don't even know where they're gonna announce it. He's just gonna. He's they're. He intimated that he's gonna have some announcements tomorrow. It may just even be an AR announcement. It might not even be the full specs. It might just be pass through information about the AR stuff. So right now we don't know. It's up in the air. I don't even know what the hell to do. I'm like I don't know if I should be around to be able to do something if something does big happen, but I don't know.
This
With
is
with with
according.
Meta, you never know, man.
Well, this is according to Jamie Feltham at Upload VR. The headline reads, "Meta to reveal Project Cambria mixed reality details tomorrow."
Mm.
It says that Meta will reveal new details about its Project Cambria standalone headset tomorrow. CEO Mark Zuckerberg just said as much over on his Facebook page.
Hmm.
Quote, Project Cambria's color pass-through technology will enable developers to build a whole new level of mixed reality experiences. More details coming tomorrow. Okay, so basically, um, at the very least, we're going to get pass-through information and how the pass-through works and
That's what
what
I think.
developers are going to be able to do with it. Um, you think they're going to slow trickle the information, or do you think that we're going to get a substantial info drop tomorrow?
I'm thinking it's going to be just a small bit because I mean you would think that they would at least schedule something like say, hey, we're going to do something next week and then have it where everybody's going to tune into it. I mean, this who know? I didn't even know where it's coming from. Like, where is he just going to do it on his Facebook post? Is it going to be a blog somewhere? Is he going to come online and go live? So we don't even
Could
know where
be.
it's going to come from. It could be just a leak somewhere.
Hmm.
Well, there's a info base out there for Oculus developers. There's a whole system of information and ways for new information and kind of like it's almost like a blog style parts of it. He's talking about what developers are going to be able to do with the pass through. So it might just be something like that on the Oculus or I guess Meta now developer info base. But that stuff, it hits the dev site first, and then it hits all the VR sites afterwards. So that could just be something as simple as that.
I'm hoping he
Yeah.
brings the box out and opens it, shows us what's inside. That would be
What's in
cool.
the box? What's in the box?
That's
Uh,
Onakazi has a good point. He says, "Is that display conference still going on?" There is a display conference going on in California this week. That could be happening there,
Hmm.
right?
it is, but Bradley is there, and he said that he didn't think anything was going to happen there.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Crazy
Bradley's been
time.
wrong before.
That's
Oh
true.
yeah.
Dark Angel says, "Yeah, I'm not down for sitting on Bookface all day waiting to hear something. Nah. Just watch the Discord. I'm sure people will share it as soon as there's info to be shared if it actually turns out to be something exciting. And I don't know about you guys, but I can't get too excited about anything until they release that price. Like that's the whole thing for me. Like you're going to charge $1,000 or more. I don't give a shit what the specs are. You can keep it at that
Right.
price.
Yeah, I got too many other
1500.
things coming, man. You know what I mean? I got the PlayStation VR 2 coming and maybe Quest 3. And I just spent $800. Well, 650. So no, I'm not spending $1,000 on a
If,
headset.
if, it,
Not
if it's
happening.
1500, if it's $1,500, who is that headset for at $1,500? Because
Nobody.
if it's straight business, why are they putting all this other stuff in it? Why make it standalone? Why put the XR2 chip in it?
It's a luxury item, bro. Well, that's my thing right there. You just said it, XR2. Like if you're gonna like come out with a product that's 4 to 5 times the price of a Quest 2, It needs to have a higher processor in it than the Quest
Or
2,
two of them.
not the same one.
Something.
Right.
You know, like give me something. Not more like
Now
Wes said,
we
more
know it's gonna
comfort.
have we know it's gonna have 2 fans. We think it's gonna have 2 fans because it's gonna be running higher, you know, higher graphics off of that XR2, but could it be 2 fans because it has to run 2 XR2 chips? We don't know.
Hmm.
Possible.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't think so. The XR2 as it is in the Quest headset is downclocked and locked. So it's not even being used to its full potential.
Hmm.
It can't be used to its full potential in a Quest the way it's configured right now. So who knows? Maybe there's a lot of overhead left in that chip that is untapped due to the lack of cooling available in the Quest.
Hey Eric, do you think you were close to frying your Quest 2 on that 12-hour stream, or maybe like because
So
it was
something
doing
happened, dude.
weird shit, dude, at the end. And you got to figure that like it's not designed to be going that long, that hard, that fast, right? You know who is designed to go that hard, that far,
My
that
mom!
fast? Hmm.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, I mean, it got really freaky right at the end. I mean, we hit like right around 12 hours and 30 minutes, and it was like barely playable. Everything slowed right down. You know, there was like no frames. It was like two or three frames
That
per
would never
second. It
that
looked
would
so
never happen
bad.
on the G2 or the Index, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the limitation of that Quest 2.
It was literally hot to the touch too, because I could feel the heat coming off of the front of this. So I was like feeling it. Like I'm like, wow, this thing's like super hot all of a sudden.
It would have caught fire midstream, dude. That would have been viral.
Dude, I would have got 1 million. I finally would have got 1 million hits.
$1 million lawsuit.
I just
There
need to
you
burn
go.
my face off. That's all.
That's it. That's all you need to do is burn your face off. Who knew?
Yeah.
Look like Ghost Rider in VR.
Hell yeah. Something to strive for. Next stream.
Absolutely. Anyway, got some cool stuff to talk about tonight, as usual, but not the first piece of content that we're putting out today. As earlier today, our 4th episode of On Location went live with everybody's favorite game developer, Tiffany Tolman, who joined us for a game of Walkabout, which was amazing. It was awesome. Loved getting a chance to hang out with Tiffany. And man, that lady's 1,000 miles a minute, isn't she?
Yeah, she's just man. She's a spark of energy. It rubs off, man. You can't just be down around her, man. She's just got so much energy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go
she's
watch the
infectious.
episode and try not to smile. Right, like it's amazing. It's hilarious. It's a really funny, probably the funniest on location that we've done this far.
Yeah.
Well, and even just off camera was hilarious. Like you probably could have taken our off camera stuff and made a whole other episode.
Yeah, and I might just do that too. I might just post that up there for the patrons. It was like 3 hours of footage that I boiled down to almost half of what I had, and it was hard, man. It was hard to decide what not to put in, right? But I didn't want it to run too long, and an hour 40 was the best I can do. But I promise you, it goes by quickly if you watch. It was really good. Like we started off. The whole first half of the thing is gameplay. But again, there's constant dialogue through the whole thing. And then we just camp out right in the middle of the thing and talk about Tiffany's history in game development and what it would take for someone like you, the viewer, to get into that to get into that world. And it's not as difficult as you might think. And if that's something that sounds interesting to you, I definitely recommend that you check this episode out. It was a bit eye opening, and it was a great time, and I think it all comes across very well in the episode.
Yeah, it's fun. I want to do it again.
For sure.
Onakazi says I was expecting a more relaxed interview format. Hey man, I did what I could,
Any more relaxed, we would have been good.
Trailerman says she was green with envy. Man, that she was like that from the get-go. Anyway, let's say hello to our friends in chat so we can talk about these games. Traveling Man and Onakazi, of course, we already spoke to. Guido7335 is here. He says it's a great episode. What I've seen so far, I'm going to finish it later. Thank you, friend. Onakazi says, I was only 30 minutes into it. Yeah, you haven't even got to the game or the tech talk yet. So just hang in there. It's coming. Dark Angel says, you know who else wants to do it again?
My mom!
Oh yeah,
And again.
and again,
again.
nonstop.
Maddie Fat Batcat is in the house. Hello, friend. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Wolf Raza is here. Good to see you, Wolvie. He says, you know who else has sparks shooting out her port?
My mom!
Chinatown D is here. Hello, D. Good to see you. Techno Glitch, of course, is here, as is ET2K9.now. What's up? What's up? What's up? Hussein X is here. Mickey Barrios is in the house. What's up, friend? VR Demon is here. He said he's going to get that pregnant Oculus chick again. Talk about Ruth Bram. Let's see here. Who else is in the house tonight? That might be it. Let's see. Oh, Daniel Kaz is here, and Zayla Maru is here. Hello, friends. Delirium VR says y'all looking good. Thank you, friend. I appreciate that. Radio Run is in the house as well. David, the Game Cat Runs says hi. What's up?
Wow.
And
That's a feat right there. Speed ran Wanderer last night, 2 hours, 5 minutes.
wow, it's kind of interesting though. How quickly can you do it if you know all the solutions? It would seem like it would trip you up a little bit, at least some of those puzzles, like the water puzzle specifically. So I mean, I couldn't run through that thing now, even knowing what to do with it. So Joba is here. Hello, hello, hello. And Mr. Tasselhoff is in the house. I made sure we got a nice plug or two in there for Mr. Tasselhoff during the on location episode.
Yeah.
So Swing Plus, it's called now. Did you guys know that? Swing Plus.
I did not know that. Sounds like a good name.
I like it.
Did he change the erection name? Oh, I mean the erector. No.
Not yet.
Oh, not yet. Not yet.
I've been trying to talk to him.
I get it.
Anyway,
Erector set. I mean, it makes sense, right? You're trying to build something, right? So
yeah, it makes perfect sense.
It makes perfect sense if you're talking about an erection.
It's an exciting product, Eric. It's an exciting product.
You're right. It does
Gets you
have
super
people
excited.
very excited.
That's right.
Anyway, let's get into some game talk, fellas. As this week, for the second week in a row, we are here talking about a city builder coming to VR. But Little Cities is not exactly the same thing we did last week. On the contrary, my experience in this game was night and day different than it was in Cities VR. Of course, this is Little Cities. This is a game that's developed by Purple Yonder and published by our friends at In Dreams. As always, we want to thank our friends for granting us review access. Now, guys, we've had this game in our libraries for a long time. Of course, before it was kind of the alpha version, kind of the bare bones structure of the game, and now it has been fully fleshed out into a complete experience. And to be honest, I kind of put it off getting into this thing after the hectic experience that I had last week with Cities VR. But when I did finally get in there and check it out, the vibe, just the vibe in general, is completely different in this game, or at least that's how it came across to me. Roots, what did you think about your first moments in Cities VR? I'm sorry, Little Cities. as opposed to Cities VR from last week.
I think you nailed it. I guess it's the vibe. It's a chill vibe. It's the music. It just it's just more simple, you know? Like everything that you just said, that the stress of last time doesn't really exist in this world. This is just a nice, peaceful city building experience. You just get to really really enjoy it. It's just not as chaos. There's not as much chaos, right? And just like you said, like I was saying, the music alone sets the pace right off the bat.
Right off the bat, before you even get into the menu screen, the music it really sticks out and sets the mood for this experience. Um, Eric, when I was playing Cities VR last week, and I don't really want to make this a versus, but you kind of have to, right? I mean, they're both city builders. They both just came uh, out on the Quest platform. Um, but when I was playing Cities VR last week, it was very much a tense atmosphere. Not that it wasn't fun, it was just constantly challenging to me to figure out what the next thing that I should do is. Whereas in little cities, I never even wondered one time what I should do. The game pretty much tells you everything that you need to do, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just way more approachable. You know, it's approachable for anybody, especially somebody who's never done a city builder before. It has that approachable vibe. Even down to like when a house gets done or something gets built, you get like a little firework display, like boom, it goes off, and it's like, oh, cool, you built a house or you built a building. And I mean, or when you get an achievement, you get a little fireworks display. You're not going to get that in little cities or in cities VR, because it's not about just one little thing. It's about building your whole city and taking care of your water and your power and things like that, and your money, and taking loans. It's not about that here. Here it's about the enjoyment of building things, and the enjoyment of trying to build up your city, and just relaxing in a much more approachable atmosphere. And to the point where I was talking with Roots earlier, I would compare it to like, and unfortunately we are going to have to compare these games, like you're right, because they are so close, but I'd compare it to like little cities being like a mobile version of a city builder, and Cities VR being like a super sim, PC version of a city builder, where the mobile version is going to be not in the visual department, because they both look visually stunning. They both not stunning, but they both look visually very good. But in the approachability of it, the mobile is just a much more casual experience where you can jump in right away and within a few hours have a whole city built. You're not going to do that in Cities VR. You have to plan out your entire step-by-step process, and you just don't really have to do that as much in this one.
So it's almost like these are two totally different genre of games. I mean, they're both technically city builders, and they both are built on a similar framework with regards to how you lay the roads down and you zone your territory and you provide services. You're doing all the same things on a very basic level. But where Cities VR was uber challenging, I almost felt like this was not challenging enough. Like there was no challenge at all. It was almost more like a project or an experience than a game. Because I don't know about you, Roots, but for me, like my people were never unhappy. That never even got into the yellow. Like they always stayed in the green, happy the entire time that I played this game.
Yeah, no, I never saw them got happy. I never unhappy. I never poisoned them. You know, that's the thing with Cities VR is the people are so fickle. It's almost like I think this world is like the 50s and Cities VR is 2022 where everybody's just pissed off about everything. Uh and it's reality. Like it's just this whole world is just more at peace, you know, for whatever reason. It's
And
definitely
I think that that we should note here that we're all noobs to this genre. Like none of us are hardcore city builder fans, and I think if we were, that we would very much be in the category of cities VR would be the way to go here. But since we are noobs to this, um, I feel like you don't need to be a fan of city builders to enjoy your time in little cities. It's we laughed and we've made a ton of jokes about how cozy this game is. The marketing speak for it. It was cozy. But having played it now and spent some time in it, that's a pretty accurate description here. It starts small and expands. You start on one little island that's zoned off, and I don't know about you, but I got kind of worried. Like, man, is it really just going to all be right here? But then as you keep playing, you get to zoom out to like this larger world map, and other islands will unlock for you that you can connect up. And to be honest, like I was expecting it to kind of be a little more confined than it actually is. The scale of this thing is actually bigger than I expected it to be. Um, Eric, there's a lot I liked about this. I thoroughly enjoyed the entire time that I played this game. It was a game that I found myself, I had to make myself quit playing it because I enjoyed my time in it so much. Um, but out of all the positives here, and there are a lot that we could list off, I think the design of the UI is the most brilliant thing in this game. The way that every little aspect has its own little bubble, and the way that you bring up the different menus is by popping the bubbles with your finger. It's a very VR thing to do, but it's also just a great way to keep things organized and again intuitive for a noob. How intuitive the UI is everything, and this was all very intuitive. Not only the UI, but the locomotion style as well. Everything, um, you know, it, I just picked it up right away and didn't have to give it a second thought after they told me one time what I needed to do.
Yeah, I think that goes back to the build that we played 6 months. Well, maybe not 6 months, maybe 3 or 4 months ago. There was no tutorial. There was nothing. Basically, they gave us the game and they said, "Here it is." It was bare bones. The game was there, but there was no like, "Here, this is step one. This is step two." I mean, you know that we've all seen that tutorial that you have to sit through with Cities VR. There's nothing like that. And well, there's nothing. It was definitely nothing like that in that early build. But even now with this build, it doesn't have to hold your hand as much as the other one does, especially early on. But that first build that we had zero in it, and we all picked it up and we all played it with no tutorial at all. And when you can take a game and you can play it without a tutorial or have to seeing anything, having anything help you, it's a great game. You know that they did it right. They did the UI right in that sense, and it was really done well. And you can screw these things up, especially in virtual reality, because if you make the UI confusing, we're gonna nope out of it real quick, especially in a VR headset. You got to make it easy, and you got to make it. And both games did that. I think both games did that, but this one was really, really done well. It's just super easy to grab onto.
It's what did you think about the bubble menus?
I thought it was really not only really unique and like you said, very VR, but it was very satisfying. You know what I mean? Like pop, it just feels good. And I agree. UIs are everything. If it's confusing or just I don't know, man. Like I don't know how much time I spent raving about the Resident Evil 4 UI. I mean that I think it can make the biggest difference to a game. Absolutely.
Yeah. So cozy, definitely a good descriptor of this game. Um, but it's not all sunshine and roses here. Again, we mentioned before that there is little to no challenge here. And I think when Roots kicked off this segment by saying that this game was simple, I think that if I had to put it all in a word, that's probably the most accurate description of the game. Because I don't mean simple just in a terms of difficulty, but it's simple, simple. There, you know, eh, as many facets as we were faced with last week with regard to building and running a city. um, this seems like boiled down to the very surface level of things. For example, you don't have to run any wires in this game for electricity. You don't have to run any pipes for water. You don't have to worry about sewage at all. That's not even a thing in this game. Your roads are your pipes and your wires. So if you have a road going somewhere, then that place will get electricity and water as long as you have built up enough, sources, windmills, or water towers. And I don't even know if there's even any other options other than those two. There may be as your city grows, but uh, as much as I enjoyed it, and I did love it, when we talk about recommending this to other people, it really just depends on whether or not you want a challenge. If you want a challenging game, this is not for you because this is not challenging, and I could barely even call it a game. I mean, um, I think it's a fun experience. I think it would be a very educational experience for someone who has children. If you want to teach them a good fun way to teach them the basics about civics, that would be great for that. But if you're an adult and looking for a challenging city builder, that is not what this is at all. Um, Eric, did you find this at all to be maybe even a little bit too easy? Would you have preferred it to be a little bit more detailed with regards to what you're doing here, or do you think it's nice just the way it is?
Yeah, I, I think we need to find something in the middle between these two games. It would have been nice if we had hit on that somewhere,
Right.
or a different difficulty setting. I don't know. Give it two different, have a challenge mode or a more challenging mode or something like that. But yeah, it's a little bit too simplistic on this one. And what happens with cities VR is things snowball on you and get out of control quickly. And that's the biggest challenge of that game. And when it does, it's hard to recover from it because you fix one problem to keep people happy. And then all of a sudden, because you did you fix that, something else has popped up. And then you're constantly chasing yourself, trying to figure out what you need to do to keep everybody happy. Here, that challenge is not there because pretty much everybody's always happy. I mean, unless the volcano erupts, which it does erupt, that the volcano erupts and there's disasters and things like that. But unless like something major happens, they're almost pretty much happy all the time. And if there is a problem, you can fix it easily. So you're never scrambling like you do in Cities VR. I think that's the biggest difference. There's not as much challenge there.
I think it's a great.
Right. There's money.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Roots. I was just going to say there's money in this game, but it's not like your budget's ever challenged. I never even came close to running out of money at any point during this game. What you
I did
say?
in the other game all the time.
yeah. The other game is
Yeah,
is
me
it's
too.
just it's like real life. You're trying to juggle problems, right? I think this is a great game for a rookie, a beginner, or somebody that or kids in general, like you said. But even just somebody that has no idea of what this is. Maybe they start with this one, they play this one, and then they move on to the other one. You know, but I definitely think that I agree. It's as far as challenge, it's not a challenge. For me, it
Yeah,
wasn't.
I think yeah, it's interesting when you're talking about comparing the two titles because with this one, like the UI and the locomotion are so good, but you wonder if something like that would even work for a more complex games. I mean, would you end up with like 100 bubbles on your screen if you tried to do something similar for a more detailed game? Probably wouldn't work there. Um, and with regards to the other one, like it's super complex and difficult. But I feel like a lot of that difficulty could have been mitigated for them had they implemented a better training procedure. It's like they expect the players for the other title to come in with a knowledge of how to play the game. So for someone like me that wants to enjoy a time in a city builder, it's little cities or nothing, man. Like the other game, as much as I enjoyed the challenge of it, like it was a tense experience start to finish, whereas this one um, was calm, relaxing, and fun, but never challenging. So I think you're right, Eric. I think I'd like a good in between, whether that mean a hard mode for this one or an easy mode for the other one. I feel like for someone like us, um, we find benefits to both, but neither are quite perfect.
Yeah, it would have been nice to see like you said, a happy middle there somewhere. But maybe they'll they both are updating. Like cities already had an update today, I think, and changing some stuff and fixing some of their stuff. So hopefully they'll go the other way and make it a little bit more approachable. And you never know, Purple Yonder could work on this one too to add more to it to get a little more in there. So we'll see. I think both are good games, and I think both have their place, especially with the price point. So
They're
yeah,
both
I mean,
Yeah, I
both
think
worth
that
playing for sure.
hell yeah, I
yeah,
would definitely say that. Yeah.
yeah, they're both very good and worth the price of admission. Um, I think we kind of nailed this whole situation here with our speculation months ago. Like that, these are two different games for two different crowds of people. If you're a noob, if you're a casual, if you've never played a city builder before, Little Cities is the way to go. But if you have played a city builder before and you like that sort of game and you want a challenge, you're probably going to find this game boring. You probably want to buy Cities VR.
Yeah, and Tiffany's got a
Okay.
good point. Not only, she says, why did you build your city next to an active volcano? Like, that's a very good question. Not only that, but you're like building it all the way around it. You're just going to surround it and hope that it just pours out lava on you one day, and then you're going to bitch about it and then rebuild, and then 10 years later get surprised when another volcano goes off. And
Right.
That's
You,
it.
you always wonder why people even ever live close to these areas, but they do. Meanwhile, they're giving land away in Wyoming for
mm,
free. you know,
really good fertile land there though, because of the volcanic ash for sure. So I wouldn't mind living there. Just got to get out quick.
Roots. I know one of the things that we were questioning with this during the build up to launch was whether or not we were going to be able to zoom down into Street View and check out our
Mm.
town. And I'm happy to report that that is the case. What did you think about Street View? I thought it was pretty cool.
It is cool. I just don't know why there's no people. Like there's cars everywhere, and there's like hang gliders and everything, but there's no literal people. You'd expect you to see some people walking around or something. That was the only thing
Quarantine, bro. Quarantine.
I thought it was cool though. I mean, it's cool to, to get down there and see everything going on. I still think both games missed the mark. I think you should be, if you could go in and walk around your city or drive around or ride around, like that's the thing. That's the only reason why that train game was so cool, is you could actually get down and ride the train, right? Imagine if you could like go in a car and drive around your city, or I don't know, man. This is VR. There's just so much more. Maybe that's something they could add, or another city builder down the road. I don't know.
When I zoomed in on street level, I thought of you pretty quickly because I just had built my city up um, large enough that we started getting traffic in the sky. And one of the things that the first things that you start to see populate the sky are hot air balloons. There's a ton of them, and
Oh,
they look cool. And I saw that, and I thought, man, Roots would really dig the balloons going up right now.
yeah, I love that. I love hot air balloons. Festival, it's coming. Labor Day.
Anyway, I think this is $20. Is that right, Eric? $20 for this one on the Oculus Quest store.
It is $20.
That's another big plus, right? It's at a lower price point, so not only is it a game for casuals, which you're going to find a lot of on the Quest platform, um, but it's affordable. $20 is not much for a VR game in 2022, and I wholeheartedly recommend this game at that. Even if you've never played a city builder before, and especially if
Yes.
you've never played a city builder before, I'd say this is the one for you. And again, it's not going to cost you very much money to get in there and try it out.
Now, one thing to keep in mind too is if you have a Quest 1, this is the only one you can play. The other one is not available on the Quest 2. So, this is
Good
it.
point.
But it's still, I mean, it's a good game. It's worth playing for sure.
Honestly, when I said that I had to make myself stop playing this every time because I had other things to do, I've never just quit playing this game because I wanted to quit playing it. Not once. It's always been because of time constraints, other things I have to get into. Very, very enjoyable experience. for me as a noob, again, someone who doesn't play these types of games
Mhm.
very often.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you can go in there and lose 3 or 4 hours. I mean, easy. I mean, because again, and that's what kind of lends it to being a more approachable because you can just go in there and chill, man, and just have fun and build your city, and you can lose it, man. You get all of a sudden you look up, it's 3 hours. You've been there for 3 or 4 hours, like time. But that's the problem though too. It's like 6 hours. You know what I mean? 6 hours, and you've gone to pretty much every island. You've built what you need to build, but you can always go back and just do it again. Do it differently next time, change it up, and
yeah,
just hopefully,
there's multiple save slots, so you can run multiple concurrent games at once. And yeah, it's so relaxing and fun to do. I could totally see someone playing through this thing in one sitting. Like I could
Mhm.
totally do that. Uh, if I had the time to do that, I could totally see myself doing it. Um,
I
yeah,
did it.
very, very
I,
enjoyable. I'm sorry.
Todd did it for this video. This is his video. He did the whole thing. He played the whole game, recorded it all the way through in one sitting.
I bet he raved about it too, didn't he?
He loved it. He loved it. And beforehand, he was like, when these two games were first coming out, because he didn't play it early on. It was just us who played it early on. So when he was like really looking forward to Cities VR, and not really looking forward to this one. But I wanted him to do the review because I had already done the early video of this one. So when he did the review, he absolutely fell in love with it to the point where he hasn't even played Cities yet, and he's had access to it since we had access to it. But he loved this one so much that he just didn't really need to jump in the other one
I
yet.
wonder what he's gonna feel about it, because it could go either way. He could be like, "This is really cool. It's so much more deeper," or "This is like it's very stressful." Like, because like Wes said,
Yeah.
that's a real feeling. That's exactly how I felt. I was like, everywhere I was going, there was people bitching at me. It's never good enough. And these people are happy, man.
I need affirmation every once in a while, right?
You get to hear them cheer and stuff. It's cool.
So now you know how it feels, right? Let's go, Brandon. Yeah, right. They're gonna overthrow your ass, Roots.
Yeah, well, I'd say they can give them a shot. They can try.
They just want clean water, bro. What the hell?
I just wanted to poison them a little bit with some septic feces.
Who
Yeah.
doesn't want a little septic feces in
That's
their
right.
water
That's true.
these
Yeah.
days? Anyway, I think it's all a solid recommend here. Again, with the caveat that if you're looking for a challenging city builder, that's not what this is. But if you're not looking for a city builder at all, you might want to try this one out because it's a fun, relaxing experience, and again, great for children. A good learning experience for young children. Um, I don't have any doubt that like my 10-year-old could pick this up and play it easily and learn a lot.
Yeah,
So
have a lot of fun.
And hats off to Purple Yonder too, man. This is a first time development team. The other one was made by Fast Travel Games, which is a big development company. This was published by In Dreams, but this was made by Purple Yonder, man. And they're not a huge team, so congrats to them for making a great game, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they do next.
Is that another husband-wife team, right?
it is.
Yeah,
Yes.
is it?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it is.
So
Yep.
it's
So
cool.
yeah, so kudos to them and congrats on what I'm sure will be a successful launch. As soon as the word gets out around this one, people are going to pick it up for sure.
Yep, for sure.
Anyway, Gamer Chick's in the chat, guys, saying she took it easy on us. What the hell is up with that?
Thank God, man.
I should have won. She cheated. She was gone.
She
Can't
cheated.
leave and then come
I like how Mash had to change his. She cheated while she was gone.
back. She left. Can't leave and come back.
Yeah, I'm not going to like spoil the video, but it's interesting how it ends, to say the least.
Yeah, it is. It was robbed.
Talk about
robbed.
playing with somebody's emotions, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anyway, no, we had a blast hanging out with Tiffany, and sorry I couldn't get in there with you last night, Tiffany. I didn't know that you were in there. Brian threw out an invitation to me while I was taking a nap, and then I woke up like I don't know, like an hour after they started, and debated whether or not I should get in. But I didn't even know Tiffany was in there. I might have given it a try had I known. But I had a blast playing with her the other day, and hopefully we could get in there again soon and knock some balls around.
Yep.
Oh yeah. You know what we should do, Wes? Because I think we're going to try and plan to go to a comedy club next Monday. We
That's
should have,
true.
see if Tiffany wants to go with us.
She doesn't like to laugh.
Well, I'm for it. I'm all for it. We're gonna do Veiled Surrender, right?
We are next Monday. I think it starts at 9 p.m. It's either 9 or 9:30. I think it's 9.
Okay.
9 p.m. Eastern time next Monday. Where I'll try and go in. I'm going to put a little post up in all their discords and groups about it. So
Cool.
yeah,
Alt Space. Am I right about that? Alt Space
all
VR.
space. Yep, it's first come first serve. So you got to get on the list, man. If you want to get in there with us, I think that room we could fill that whole room, which would be cool, man. If we could fill the whole room with all our communities, that'd be awesome.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I'm down. I might not get to stay for the whole thing because I'll have to work.
Yeah,
But I could give you 90 minutes of fun before I take off.
yeah. You know who else can give you 90 minutes of fun?
My
Who's that?
mom.
90. She's tough.
Yeah. Guaranteed.
Anyway, my day of VR was not all sunshine and rainbows in little cities, as we did endeavor to check out the Elden Ring VR mod today. And this is a mod which has been released by Luke Ross to much fanfare. People just raving left and right about how awesome and beautiful this game is in VR. And I know it took you a little while to get it going, Roots, but I think at this point you pretty much concur with the group, right?
Yeah. Yeah. This is amazing. I'll tell you what, my biggest thing is you can't have other things running. That was the biggest takeaway. Two things. Don't try to run it on Oculus Link right now. For whatever reason, it's running like shit. And then the added bonus of trying to having Overwolf, which is the mod that runs Risk of Rain 2 and Valheim running in your background. Those two things, no bueno. Very taxing on your CPU. So much so that I thought it was like on fire almost. It did spur the whole getting my thing, but I was able to fix those things and was able to actually play it on my 8700K, and I was able to make it look really good. And I spent like 3 hours in it before. I spent about 3 hours before on the about 2.5, 3 hours, and a couple hours on the new processor. And I'm in awe. Let's just put it that way.
Play connected via virtual desktop. Is that the way you played?
Yes, yeah. Virtual desktop was the way. Eventually, I went to virtual desktop and was able to play it because virtual desktop, the synchronous space warp, is so good, and I had no issues. I was running it between 80 and 90 frames, and it was a really smooth, good experience.
So you,
Yeah,
you
I
said
never had.
link or air link that you couldn't run it on.
I ran it on Airlink first, and then I ran it on wired link, and it ran, but it was not as good. For whatever. But it also could have been, because I stopped doing it all at the same time. It also could have been more the Overwolf. All I know is that Luke Ross is saying that Overwolf wants to attach to everything, or any game like that, or program like that wants to attach to everything, and so it's going to cause issues. And so just getting rid of those things seemed to make all the difference.
So, Eric, tell me about your experience with Elden Ring VR.
Well, I got in this afternoon, and I was worried about doing the mod. So I was like, Roots, what are you doing? Come walk me through putting this mod in, because I thought it was going to be hard to do. Because I know sometimes they can be with Luke Ross, and it can be more difficult than, say, the one we just did, where it was literally a game key. Um, but so Roots was going to walk me through it, but by the time the game got downloaded, he was already into doing his computer with his buddy. So I did it on my own, and literally it took me 5 minutes. The download of the mod is so easy. It's not even 5 minutes. You can probably do it in 2 minutes. It's probably one of the easier mod downloads you'll do. And so I started it on my 2080 Super, and I got into it, and I did it linked with my 2080 Super with the link cable, and it ran great. I ran it on high. I did not run it on ultra on my 2080 Super, and I thought it looked beautiful. And I was like, I had one of them holy shit moments, man. I got in there and I'm like, holy shit, this is way better than I thought. And I'll get into in a minute why what I changed to make it way better than I thought. Um, but then I switched over. I got to the point I had not put my 3080 Ti in this whole time because I've been having uh, I've having time issues, number one, and I've been having to try and get some stuff recorded with my Pimax or my 2080 Super. So I've been putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. And I know it's killing everybody else. Everybody's like, you crazy? Put your 3080 Ti in. So I didn't have a moment until I got into this game where I was like, I need to go put my 3080 Ti in because I need to see this game. So I literally got out of it right away and I ripped my entire fucking computer apart and to put my 3080 Ti in. And I put it in, and by the time I got everything in and hooked back up and ready to go, I got in for like a half an hour, 20 minutes, a half an hour before we started the show. And I ran it with the 3080 Ti on Ultra with the link or with AirLink. And it was, I had another holy shit moment. And it was way better than it was with the 2080 Super running it on Ultra. And I had some frame issues on Ultra. I don't think it was the computer. I think it was AirLink, not the computer, not my setup. So I'd like to run it again um, with um,
Virtual
with
desktop.
with link cable or virtual desktop because I think it was definitely an AirLink issue because they would come and they would go. Like I would be fine. I was looking at my GPU and everything was fine. And then all of a sudden I would drop frames and then it would get better and then it would drop frames and I really think it was AirLink. But man, bottom line is with either card, whatever I'm running, this game's absolutely gorgeous. We'll get into the meat and potatoes of it in a minute, but I just want to say both this game made me put my 3080 Ti in, put it that way. I know you had the
I
opposite experience.
I am I'm resolved now, guys. I'm resolved to I've got to get this real mod shit figured out because I've had great mod experiences in PC. Playing Half-Life 2 VR and in playing Half-Life 2 in VR last week reminded me why I love PC VR so much. Trying to play Elden Ring in VR this week reminded me why I hate playing PC VR so much because I tried playing this game all evening long and it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. So it's easy to install. What Eric said is absolutely true. This is one of the easier mods I've ever had to install. It didn't take me 2 minutes. Like it was like, boom, done.
Yeah.
I started out with high preset. I didn't even try to do ultra on my 3080. I just went with high to be safe. And I initially started on my G2. I wanted to see if I could get it to play on there. So it boots up in my G2, and I get in the game finally, and get it to recognize my controller, and everything's good until I load into the game, and everything is just um, shaking, like the whole world is just shaking, like there's a fucking earthquake or something going on. And then when I turn my head, it compounds because everything just smears as it shakes. So that was absolutely terrible. So I decided, well, let's try it out with under Steam VR because I was playing it under the WMR/OpenXR setting. Let's change that over to Steam VR and see how it runs. So I go over to Steam VR and immediately it tells me, "Hey man, you're playing on WMR. You probably don't want to do Steam VR because it's going to break your tracking. Do you want to do it anyway? Sure, let's do it anyway." And it looked significantly better running it through Steam VR. It wasn't perfect, but it was a lot better. But just like the warning said, it broke the tracking. Like when I turned my head, it was like it had a couple seconds of delay, like when I would turn my head, and even then it wasn't accurate. Like it was unplayable. So I'm like, well, fuck it. Let's break out the Oculus then. Let's get Link going and see how that does. So I get out my link cable and I hook it up, and of course, there's 20 minutes of fucking with the Oculus Link just to get it to connect up on both ends and work right. Eventually, we do, however, get it to work. And I remember first time I'm in the Oculus menu in a long time, um, thinking to myself, "Man, this thing is crystal clear." I forgot how good the Quest looks when you've got that link going on with the PC. The screens in the Oculus Quest are exceptional. For colors, I'm talking about. The colors are just really vivid and good looking. Um, anyway, we switch over to the Oculus API, and I get this thing where you can tell immediately what the problem is. Is that the 3D rendering left eye and right eye are out of calibration with one another. So the alternate eye rendering is going back and forth, but they're not coming together at a certain point, but rather they're crossing. So your image is constantly doing this in front of your face, moving back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Um, again, I turn my head and everything smears like Vaseline all over everything. So from there, I say, well, let's switch to Steam VR. We're not on WMR anymore. Let's do Steam VR now. And I switch it over to Steam VR and pretty much have exactly the same experience on Steam VR. Now, I'd like to say that throughout all of these attempts, I'm watching my CPU and I'm watching my frames per second. My frames per second never fall below 70 the whole time, like they're typically in the 80s. So I didn't have a frame rate problem. My CPU never got up over like 31 or 32%. So it wasn't like completely taxing out my CPU. I don't know what the problem was or why it wasn't running well. But as a last moment Hail Mary, I said, you know what? Let's try virtual desktop. And when I try virtual desktop, I still get the crazy jumping back and forth thing, but you can deal with that by turning off the stereoscopic 3D and just playing it in like flat 360, which still looks great. But when I did that, I did get the game finally into a playable state, and I would liken it to um, my Horizon Zero Dawn VR experience, except the visuals were a lot more clear. There was no aliasing or shimmer. All that was gone. It was just a really clear, good looking game um, until I moved my head.
Oh wow.
I would move my head. When I would move my head, there would be latency.
Mm.
There was latency. So I would move over here and then like a half a second before it would catch up. So I could play it, but I would have to hold my head still with no 3D in flat 360. It looked good. It was very playable. But after that, the only weirdness I had was when I would like turn. Like it was a little bit
Mm.
straining on my eyes when I would turn with my sticks, and I couldn't move my head, so I had to do that. Right.
So weird. I got none of that at all.
Well, in the troubleshooting, there's Luke said that there's some people are having that exact specific issue, but he's not able to really recreate it. He's not really sure exactly why, but some people are having issues where they're seeing it's when they're moving their head, you know, and
Yeah, it's latency. I didn't know maybe it was a virtual desktop thing because it is a wireless connection, and maybe that was causing me some latency
I had a
when I would turn my head.
mine was so perfect. My experience though, like I was like I didn't. I mean, I was running like once I got everything fixed and figured out. I was running. You know, my temperatures before were running close to 70s, 80s. When I was playing it on the 8700K, and now I'm running the 40s temperature wise. It's not even straining it at all, my CPU at all, or as far as how much it's using, I guess temperature wise. But I don't know, man. I don't know what would cause that. It's weird because like I just it was just PD said he played it on his Rift S and he had no issues either. It was just so beautiful and so fluent. It was like I was playing it flat, but I was in the world. It was amazing.
I need to get me a Rift S just for this. I think just for these mods because literally I've never had trouble with any mods the way I've had trouble with these Loot Cross Real mods, and I've never had a good experience yet with any of them. Now I haven't tried all of them. I've tried GTA for a moment. I tried Horizon Zero Dawn, which I got to a playable state, but it was very straining on the eyes. And this one wasn't even so much eye strain as just um, visual defects and latency with the head turning. I
Just be
did. I
on a
did get
Horizon Zero Dawn. This is so much better.
what's
Yeah, I didn't like
who's-
Horizon Zero Dawn
Yeah,
mod either.
Luke,
It
he
was
did
weird.
such a better job on this one. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's the thing.
it
It's
is.
like this one is like, this is the best one he's done. Like, you know what I mean? In my opinion, I mean, well, Red Dead was so good too, but I mean, this thing is just almost, if it had the stereoscopic, whatever's going on there was fixed, it'd be perfect. But even like I was telling, and Eric, you were agreeing with me, maybe it's just the way that the graphics are so detailed. I really couldn't tell that it wasn't 3D. Now Wes said he could, but I couldn't at all. But
I mean, maybe because we're used to playing it flat. That's the only thing I can think of.
yeah,
Maybe because we're so used to playing. I mean, you've put 200 plus hours in on
Yeah.
a flat screen monitor.
so
So just putting yourself in the environment, maybe you don't even
maybe that's
notice
very
the three. Because
possible.
I'm the same way. I was changing it from stereoscopic to mono. The only difference that I could tell was on mono, I didn't have the smearing effect, and that's all I
looked
could tell the difference.
amazing.
Stereoscopic, I had the same exact smear effect when you had there. Every time you moved, you would see that. It would just be like you wipe the screen and there's a residual image there for a second. And you would see that every time you turn, and it's off-putting. It almost can make you sick, I guess. If you didn't have your VR legs, it probably would make you sick. But I
Yeah.
just turned it off and I was like, this is amazing. So I didn't even notice the 3D effect. That
Yeah,
not being
I definitely could tell it when I toggled, and it wasn't like something I had to look for.
Mm.
It was obvious. But it looked very good. Like if the other crap was gone, I'd be fine just playing this in flat 360.
Mm.
Being in the world is enough for such a beautiful game, and it does have a lot more visual detail and clarity than the Horizon mod had. So, again, I'm resolved. Like I've put hours into troubleshooting now, and I want to play these damn mods, and I'm going to do whatever I have to do to make it work. Now, with that said, we're getting Resident Evil 7 and 8 next week, so
and it's gonna
we
be
might
yeah,
have
we
to
are.
shelf it.
yeah, and it's not gonna be like
But
this for you. I'm sure it'll run good.
certainly not. The Prey Dog mods for Resident Evil 2 was just it still might be the best I've played. I don't know that Half-Life one last week was pretty good.
I can't wait to
But
go back into
this is
Resident Evil 2 with my new processor because it
oh
was
yeah.
it was actually really processor intensive. That one was.
This to me is better than all those so far.
Me
This
too.
was
It's just
this was amazing.
it was amazing. It blew me away. And this is the thing too. There's a couple things about this mod that I realized too. You know, I got to a point where because I went in as a sorcerer and I was just kicking butt because they're overpowered in the beginning. I got to a point where I got invaded by one of the NPCs that invade you right before the Murkwater Cave, and this guy fucked me up like 2 or 3 times, and I said, "Fuck this, man! I'm gonna see if I can sneak by him and put on that tourist mode, right? And just so I just want to get in the cave. Just let me in the cave. I don't want to fight you, but the cave's blocked off, right?" And as I'm walking by the cave, I notice this dude's fucking mirroring me. Like no matter where I go, he's moving, right? Oh, that's weird. And so I decide if I could see if I can hit him. And I ended up killing him. And then I turned tourist mode off, and then I was able to go in the cave, and I was like, fuck you. And it made me realize, there's all these people out there that say, dude, I just want to play it in VR. It's not a cheat. It's a cheat. You know, people will find a way to make it a cheat. Any mod like this mod, that tourist mode. I went into Margit, one of the first big boss you get to, and I got him down to almost dead, and then I stopped and let myself die because I'm not going to cheat. But you know, when you're going into tourist mode, what it's doing is it's tricking the game into, when you invade somebody's world, the enemies don't see you as a threat. You can actually, you're trying to kill these other people, invade them. You can draw them into enemies and they'll start attacking them, and you can really get people dead quick. So they're tricking them into thinking that you're one of their friends or you're just, I guess, invisible, and then but you're still able to attack. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
I had that tourist mode on accident, and I didn't know it. And I got in there and I was started fighting this gigantic enemy right off the top, and I was kicking its ass. And I'm like, dude, when's this guy gonna hit me? And then I just stopped, and he was just standing there, and I was like, oh, I bet I have that fucking tourist thing turned on.
Was he
And
on a
sure enough,
horse?
that did.
Like
No, it
right
was
when you
this
come
big
in?
It
monster
was that
thing.
big
Oh.
fighter in the beginning. It was the
Oh
big spider.
Yeah,
yeah. Okay.
yeah.
You usually die.
Yeah, you're
And
supposed to die.
I got it. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, you're supposed to die, right? I got its health bar down to like this, and then I said, and then I figured it out. And as soon as I turned tourist mode off, it killed me like that. Like it
Instant.
didn't take it a second. Yeah.
That's funny.
Um, I I didn't really get a chance to play around this game all that much after I got it lined out. Even after I got it into a playable state on virtual desktop, I wanted to take my knowledge from troubleshooting back around to my original headset, the G2. So even after I got the show page up, I went back in on my G2 to see if I could get it running good, and it was better. It still wasn't right.
Hmm.
Um,
I wonder if you're running something
is
else, Wes. Because something, I mean, and this is actually, as I'm saying this, it sounds ridiculous because you like, if you don't know, people don't know, Wes he'll run things to he shuts everything down. Like nothing's running in the background. So usually.
Yeah, I would be surprised if anything were running that would affect it because I don't leave anything open. Nothing. Like I have the programs I'm running right now are what's open and everything else is closed. But I say that now I look and I see the Steam's open. I forgot to close it out. But besides that, nothing else. What I wanted to ask you, is there proper training like and tutorials in this game? Because like I found myself fucking up a lot because I didn't know what to do or how to play.
The Dark Souls games, there's a lot of things that I guess you kind of take for granted that you would know, but they do. Like you'll go to do something and it'll stop and there'll be a text that says, okay, this is what this is and this is why you do that. But even for a while, man, I must have been 60, 70 hours in and I was still figuring shit out sometimes, right? Because there's just certain aspects that you just don't. I'm like, what? You can ask D. I'm like, dude, how the fuck do I put this grease on my sword? You know what I mean? Because you get all these different types of candle grease and all these things that do all these different things. And I couldn't figure out how to do it, but I was trying to put it on a special sword. You can't put it on the special sword. It's got to be on a regular one. So there's just a lot of things. But your best bet would be ask Ruuts because he's 230 hours in. He knows everything about this game. Well, maybe not everything.
This
yeah.
game seems like it might almost be too much. Eric, is this game too much?
Don't even get into it, Wes. It's way too much. It'll
Seems
eat
like it's
your
too much.
it'll eat your life,
It's so good though,
Like
Eric. We've spent so
especially
many.
now in VR.
Yeah.
I played the game like for like 15 or 20 minutes, and I've already found 2 or 3 different types of
Oh,
severed fingers. You know what
Yeah.
I'm
Oh yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
he
Like
actually,
come on, man.
Onikazi's got a really good thing. I forgot about that, and because I didn't even know when I went in there. But there's this thing called what is it? What do they call that? It's like the depth
The
or
pit
something.
of knowledge or
Yeah, the
something.
pit of
Or, yeah.
knowledge. Yeah. So
Yeah.
when you and I went in there and I didn't even know why. I was like, what is this? Probably because I knew everything. But it's like this. You go down in the pit and it's got, I guess, a tutorial down there that you can skip
Yeah.
if you've done it.
It takes you through like every attack. It takes you through the rolls. It takes you, through the dodge. It lets you battle some enemies down there. So it basically tells you exactly how it basically gives you the movement stuff. That's all you're gonna get, Wes. So if you're looking for like detailed, like how to craft and all that shit, that's not coming. You need to go talk to Roots
Or
about
like,
that.
or how do you
Well,
level? But
even that would be a help.
well, you can't okay, and there's certain things you don't know. You can't see that chick you just met right there. You can't level until you meet her. And so people are like, how the fuck do I level? Well, you haven't unlocked it yet.
You
And so
can't get your horse till you meet her either.
right. And so you get, the best thing you do is when you come in and you go out and open that door and you walk outside, is you see a building, just start going towards it. Start trying to go to what you would do in real life. You know what I mean? You're gonna you'd see a building over there and say, I'm gonna go check out that building and just explore.
I would do in real life is travel through the fog to the land in between.
Oh yeah.
I would too, but
With the way Wes plays these games, Roots, he would have 1,000 hours in compared to your 200.
well,
He would look for every nook and cranny. I mean, he would
this
he
game is
would he would
this game's made
explore
for
every
Wes.
piece of
I think,
every area. Oh my god, yeah.
if anything, because this is what I told somebody the other day. Every cave you come into is going to have something to it. It's going to have a boss or a chest or something. Every boss is unique. Every enemy you meet is unique with a different, unique set of skills and I mean, it's just everywhere you go, it's different. This is when you play a game that the scope is so great like this. It's hard when you go into some of these indie VR games and they have 4 models for all the characters, and I get it. It's not they haven't put out 7 games or however many of these amazing games and all this money and talent, but it still doesn't change the fact that it's hard to go from something like this to a game that's got 4 skins for enemies, and then be really happy about that. And so for me, every time I go into one of these AAA games, it's getting hard. I want AAA for everything. We're
See,
years away.
this is the reason why it's so important that I get this mod up and running, because I want that kind of detail in games too. But for me, immersion is first. Like I need to be in the game,
Right.
and I, that's the most important. That's where we start. I can't play through a window. So I got to get these mods up, man, because I want to play this game. I want to play I want to play Cyberpunk, man. I wonder how
Yeah.
that's going to work. Probably similar to this and Horizon until I get this shit figured out. So we got to get it figured out. That I have no choice in the matter.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd play this game flat again.
Yeah.
But I've
oh,
probably got 50 or 60 hours, maybe more into the PlayStation 5 version of this. Now I don't think I'll go back. I don't think I can go back to the flat game now. I think I want to play it like this. And we haven't talked about it. I want to play this in third person, exactly the way this is. Not the way you see in this video, because this is not the way you should play this game.
yeah.
Closer mode, closer range is perfect, right? Like
I drew out
there's
of that.
different ranges. Yeah. There's different ranges you can play at first person, and there's like super close. There's the original, and then there's a mode called closer. That's not like right up on the enemy, but it's a good distance right behind. I thought that was perfect, and I agree. Like you don't want to play this in first person. You want to play it in the closer third person mode.
It's the same thing as Returnal. It's designed, it's so good, and it needs to be third person for a reason. There's so much going on, man. I can't even imagine. Even in third person, rolling around and trying to figure out what's going on sometimes gets confusing. I can't imagine what you would do in third person. Now, roaming around, exploring, it's amazing in third person or first person. But I just don't think the combat is right. And this is what I was telling somebody the other day. Even if they had a mod that let me play this game where I could swing my sword, I don't want to swing my sword. I want to hit my fucking button and I want to play the game the way it is because I love this game the way it is. And not everything has to be a recreation of real life. That's such a weird thing, man. I was just saying last night, when I want to recreate life, I go outside where real life exists. And it's just, to me, it's weird that it's like LARPing, I don't know. It's weird.
Paradise Decay in the chat speculates that my issues with mods is the G2. First of all, my issue isn't with mods. My issue is with the real mods. That's it. I've never had any issues with any other mods. Second of all, these guys both played these real mods on their Oculus Quests, which I also tried. It's not like I just have a G2. I tried G2 for about 10, 15 minutes, and then I moved on to my Oculus Quest where I had similar problems. It was even worse on the Quest. When I did Link, it was even worse with Link than it was on my G2. So that's not it at all. Again, I got it semi-playable on my virtual desktop, but I want the experience that these guys are having, and I just haven't gotten it there yet.
Yeah, we'll figure
Yeah,
it
it's
out.
weird though. I don't. Yeah, it's just got to be something. I don't know. I mean, it's just who knows. I mean, stuff to figure out. I mean, because we had vastly different experiences than you did, and like I said, we all tried different things. Because I mean, I was on Link and Airlink, and Roots was on Virtual Desktop, and you did Virtual Desktop and Link, and your G2, and we every experience was good for us and bad for you. So it was weird. The
Well,
only thing I did not try was which I'm going to probably tomorrow is my Pimac. Now that I have the 3080 Ti hooked up, I want to see
and there are
if I can get
people using the Pimax, so you
awesome.
should be able
Good news.
to do
Could it
that.
be a video memory thing?
It
Which I
could-
guess I don't know how many gigs of video memory does your 2080 have in it?
I think it just has 8.
Let's see. I've got
You got 10.
10, so it
Yeah.
can't be that.
And it
I
can't be
don't
the
know,
process.
man.
It can't be the processor because up until earlier today, I had the weakest one of the 3. So
Yeah, no, my processor wasn't taxed. I mean, it was higher than it normally gets, but it wasn't halfway to capacity. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with it, but it's starting to piss me off.
Hussein X says some VR YouTubers have played it in first-person VR mod, then recommend Pancake because first-person doesn't work for combat, which confuses them. And that's exactly it, man. Like when I'm looking through my window, like Wes says, and I'm playing the game, which I don't mind. It's the same game inside the world. Now I'm in it, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Why would you say play it flat and not say play it in the world third person? I don't get it. Like, there's just a weird disconnect, man. Like I as I'm roaming around the world and I'm looking at these amazing views, and I'm like, I'm not losing anything because I'm not looking through the character's eyes. I don't get it, man. It just is so weird to me.
Yeah, it's not like you're not present in the world because you're not in the character's skull. You know what I mean? You're still looking around. Like, yeah, I don't get it.
That's weird.
I know some people are just dead set against anything third person in VR, and I am the same way. I don't understand it. To the point where I even drew out farther than the close view. I actually, because you can actually use your thumbsticks in that menu and adjust it even to fit exactly the way you want it. And I drew it out just a little bit more to play it from a better angle because I want that third person view. I like it. I have zero issue with it. I still felt completely when you look up at that huge golden tree in VR. Somebody tell me that you think it's better to play flat. That's ridiculous. Again, everybody can have their own opinions. I understand that, but if you weren't impressed by that, that's crazy. I mean, and the combat is so good at third person. I don't know why you'd ever want to try and play it in
Because
first person. Some games
everything's
are
got to be
not
first
meant to be
person.
played that way.
Everything's got to be first person, bro. Don't tell me about the tree. How was my combat in first person?
Yeah, I know.
It's weird.
Anyway, I think it's a resounding success in the eyes of my co-host here. I think both of you are done or pretty close to done playing this flat, right? Like I know you just said you were, Eric.
I
Roots,
will.
are
I
you?
oh, go ahead. I will
Those
play it flat still, but I'm only going to play it flat if I want to play with D or mash. Like this is the thing. I started my a sorcerer, right? And I went in and I'm leveled up and I'm on my second playthrough, but it's more exciting on this new guy in VR because he's low level and I'm having to start over again and it's in VR. And so, yeah, I can't see myself outside of going in to play it with them. Why? Like, no.
Exactly.
Look at this scene that is playing behind you guys right now. This here is stunning in VR in the headset. It looks great right here. It looks even better when you're in the headset. It looks amazing. There's no I don't there's really no VR game I know of right now, a true VR game that has that. Trying to think of one. Is there one that has that those visuals? I don't think there is.
The gameplay, there's no game that I've ever played that has this kind of depth of gameplay. This is taking over my favorite spot, and now it's in VR.
Marbles, bro.
Is that the guy you were kicking? Yeah, really. Is that the guy's ass you were kicking, Wes? Oh no, you said it was that first guy. This guy here is actually a pain in the ass to kill, and
he kicked my ass.
Don't think you're going to go up against him for magic because he reflects your magic back to you double.
Hey, dude,
Not good.
I've got the secret weapon to fuck this dude up.
That's right. The
It's
Y
called
button.
it's called tourist mode, bro.
Tourist
Oh
mode. I'll
shit!
fuck him up, and he'll give you a cool. He'll give you a cool weapon that I used for half the game.
This is a good point for
Well,
anybody out there who says that I'm only going to do one system. I'm only ever going to play on one system. If you only ever do that and you only ever play PlayStation, you'll never be able to mod and do these games in VR.
For now.
yeah,
And
yeah,
vice versa. And vice versa. You're not going to. If you decide
yeah.
only to play on PC, then you'll never get some of the beautiful, amazing games you'll see in PlayStation
Farpoint,
VR.
you'll never get to play Farpoint or Rush of Blood or Astrobot or I mean, I
Yep.
can go on for an hour. But yeah, no, wholeheartedly. If you're limiting yourself to one VR platform, go back and watch last week's show, watch this week's show, and come back next week and watch next week's show and see as we're talking about uh, playing Resident Evil 7 with full motion controllers and Resident Evil Village with full motion controllers. Then it'll start to sink in. You'll start to understand a little bit.
Well, I was telling Mash earlier, like this is like these are games that I want to start. I want to stream now. Like I want to stream this game, Elden Ring, from beginning to end in VR. I don't know if I can because
That'd be awesome.
there's no
Might.
help.
You
No
might
help.
now.
Well-
You'll look all withered when you come out of the headset.
Yeah, but but
You-
see the beauty is even if I if I got stuck on a boss or something and I had to go out to go multiplayer flat for one boss, I really don't want to do that. But I want to try to play this game full playthrough. So we'll see.
You might be able to. I'm not sure what kind of restrictions you'll have trying to capture without a graphics card, but you might be able to. Like, I wouldn't try streaming this from the same computer I'm playing it on, but since you've got two now, maybe you're able to do it.
I think I could. Actually, even when and of course, because that's the main thing is it would be able to run it off there. So I wouldn't even consider it before because I could barely run it.
Corporate Zombie, that would be Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice that you're talking about. And that's an amazing game that I just turned Troy Gillis onto.
Nice.
He is like enamored with that game now, Wes, to the point where he went and he was like watching the trailer for the new one. He's like, this one coming to VR? And I'm like, dude, I hope so. I don't know, but I hope so.
I'd be surprised if it doesn't. I mean, everybody freaked out because Microsoft bought it, but I mean, they literally said that we're not focusing on the hardware for VR. We're focusing on the software or the games, right? So
I'm confident. I'm confident that if it doesn't immediately come to VR, that Prey Dog or Luke Ross,
somebody,
Yeah, right here. Yep.
Dr. Beef, or someone's going to make it happen. So, well, we have that peace of mind, knowing that the modding community continues to grow and continues to get better and better. And in the case of at least Luke Ross is making a pretty good living at it. So,
yeah, for
So-
real.
Serious thing now, man. Modding is it's getting, you can just see it, right? You can see it now that it's about to like take off. And if there's a game out there that's not locked on a console, we're gonna see it in VR, right? I mean, there's no reason that they can't take every game that we see, that any big game that they can't do it. As long as they have the funding to do it, they'll do it, right?
It seems to be getting easier too, at least from what Luke Ross's mods are getting better. I mean, maybe it's just his skills as well, but it seems like the newer games seem to be a little bit easier for him to crack into.
I don't know. I know I got to get that shit working. or
Wes
else
is
I'm
like,
gonna
not
pull
for
my
me.
hair out.
What a bummer.
You guys just need to come over. You need to come over here to Kentucky. and help
Just
me
come
get
on
it
over.
straightened out.
Yeah, that's
do it.
right. Well, this is why
Anyway,
PCVR can be frustrating, right? Because you just have no idea.
Dude, it's so
Yeah.
frustrating because you spend so many like hundreds and thousands of dollars on this shit, and you just want it to work, man. You know?
Yeah.
But when you take that frustrating PC and you get into a game like this, and it freaking just can't get that anywhere else, man. I'm telling you right now, you're not getting it on the Quest standalone. You're
No.
not getting in here, and you're not getting that holy shit moment. So I understand, and I feel bad for people that can't
Yeah,
do it. I
but
want to get, I want everybody to be able to do this. I really do.
that goes both ways. You're not getting Tentacular
Nope, that's
on
true.
Steam either.
Shit, you sure? Hey, wait, I think it is actually on Steam.
Is it on Steam? I didn't
I
know.
think it is. Well,
Oh,
because every piece of shit game can go to Steam because all you got to need is $100 and a freaking gas money to get on Steam.
oh shit. Anyway, I think it's going to wrap up our conversation for now, at least until I can get this shit lined out. But yeah, I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us tonight, and talking a little VR. We're going to have another cool episode lined up next Wednesday, as Mod Month continues. What a call, guys! Making this Mod Month, like
Perfect.
we had an idea that it might go this way, but we didn't know, right?
No, and we've got so many
Yeah.
good games coming out, and so many. I mean, each one of us has upgrades in the last few months that benefits from these. Our mods benefit from them, right? So
Absolutely. So we've got awesome VR mods coming out this week. We've got Afterlife VR coming out this week that I'm
Oh
hoping
yeah.
to be able to check out. Got a video coming up. We're going to give away our Fract care package, courtesy of our friends at In Dreams. We're going to get the giveaway started up for that this week as well.
Nice shirt,
So
Roots.
what's that?
there you go.
Oh yeah,
Nice shirt.
yeah. Then you can actually see it because I adjusted my camera, so I'm not.
Jimmy
So the
Bowers
more
and End Dreams are awesome, sending those kits to everybody.
Yeah, dude. My
Amazing,
Josh
dude.
was looking at that water bottle. He's like, dude, in the book today. He's like, dude, this is really cool.
That's great, man. It's by far the best shit a dev's ever sent me. Like, again, the Demio thing was really cool too. It's like, it's more like a keepsake, right? A thing that you put up. Whereas this is all practical stuff you can use in your life and then still, keep it nice and put it away. But yeah, super cool. Shout out to Jimmy and In Dreams, for being awesome as always. Shout out to GT, by the way. Congrats to
Hell yeah.
GT, who just got named a marketing assistant for Fast Travel Games.
Oh,
Gamertag VR,
how
our
cool.
good friend, is he's a direct assistant now to our other friend Andreas Julison.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure we'll
super
get the scoop
excited
this
for him.
Saturday.
Yeah. Reality Bites, right? This Saturday on Q2C VR Gamer. Links in the description down below.
Yeah, but if you can't wait till Saturday, you see him tomorrow night, Thursday, right? Not GT, but
Yeah,
the
we'll be
other
there.
podcast. Yeah.
Anyway, the moral of the story is click the buttons, subscribe to the channels, ring the bells, because we have more awesome content coming up very, very soon. Of course, if you want to do a little something extra, want to throw us a little scratch, there's a link down there to our Patreon, $3 per month. That's it. And you get access to our weekly show notes, insider updates, exclusive content, all for less than $1 per week. It's a hell of a deal, and you get the peace of mind knowing that you did your part to help prop us up and let our dreams live one more month. So thank you to everyone out there who supports us on Patreon. And then, of course, if you guys get sad when the shows go off, if you want to keep talking, you don't have to stop. There's an invitation down below to our home, which is our Discord server, the Virtual Strangers Discord server. It's where we hang out. It's where we live 24/7, talking games, talking life, living together, playing together. Literally, it's all down there. Invitation down below. Come join us. That's where you can keep up. That's where you're going to find out tomorrow what Zuckerberg actually reveals about Cambria on our Discord. So,
Hell yeah.
It's out tomorrow.
Anyway,
You can get it
Corporate
now.
Zombie says
Go
Corporate
buy
Zombie
it tomorrow.
says lick the like button. So yeah, everybody lick that button.
Sure.
Lick it good so that you don't have to do it again. And with that said, friends, I'd like to thank you all once again for watching. For Roots and Eric, I'm Wes. We'll see you in a couple days, friends. Bye now.
Take it easy.
See you later.